How's it going, everybody? This is Matt from MTH Trains here. Welcome back to the railroad. It's November, and you know what that means. The holidays are fast approaching, but more importantly, especially this time of year, it's new train season. This is the time of year when all the major manufacturers start delivering all of their brand new products, and in my case, this is one of those new engines and pre-orders I made earlier this year. I am super excited and pumped for this. This is the brand new release of the MTH Premier Central Railroad of New Jersey P47 Pacifics. This is an amazing tooling and an engine that I have been hoping and praying MTH would bring back. It's been a long time since these have been on the market. I think 2017 was the last time these were cataloged, but they're here now. They have a lot of new things that you've never seen before, and I had my hand in that while helping MTH with a couple friends. I'm going to go and dive into that, that and more in this video, so stick around. Let's jump into this amazing new Pacific right now on MTH Trains. Let's go. So real quick, I just want to give a special shout out to my friends over at Trainscom. The holidays are fast approaching, and maybe you got a model railroader in your life, or maybe you've been eyeballing something on the website that you want to pick up for yourself. Be sure to use my affiliate link in the description of this video or in my Instagram bio, and use my code MTHTrains at checkout to get $10 off your next order of $50 or more. That's MTHTrains in all caps in one word. It helps support my channel. It helps grow my community going on here, and it supports a great business. They're my favorite online train store. They have an amazing selection of trains from O scale to Z scale, post-war trains, brand new Lion Legacy or MTH, any manufacturer, they got it. That's Trains.com, trains with a Z. So that's right, nearly 10 years since the last time we've seen this in MTH's roster. The iconic Baldwin Pacifics are finally back in MTH's locomotive rotation. This is an engine I have been having high on my list for a very long time. It is so great to finally see these engines available again with a whole new twist, because there are a lot of new things that are on this engine that have not been offered on previous runs. The entire model behind me here in general has never been offered out of all of the previous runs MTH has done on the Baldwins. So we're going to go into full detail as to what's new on this version here, as well as the rest of the run. So MTH the last few years, ever since Mike Wolf stepped down, the newer group of guys have been very accustomed and keen to adding lots of road-specific detailings and paint schemes that never really get offered on these engines before. So this was an idea that I had in mind that I originally was going to try to get as a custom run with Pat's Trains, but to my surprise, when these were cataloged, the idea I had in mind ended up being something that MTH had in mind themselves, so it saved me a lot of time. However, when these were originally cataloged, a couple of my friends were reached out to by MTH directly through a couple of emails, maybe like a few weeks before these were actually announced, which is really cool. So let's jump into that. So if you're not really familiar with what goes on behind the scenes with MTH, you might not be aware that there are a newer group of individuals that have taken over all of the production and pretty much all the aspects of the company as a whole. So I was reached out to along with my friend Alex, and somebody you're very familiar with here on the channel, my really good friend Carmine. We were reached out to by Rich Foster, who is the lead product designer and manager and oversees a lot of the production of MTH's newer announcements. So he reached out to us maybe like a week or 2 weeks before that they announced the rerun of these engines. And we were basically borderline consultants, so we were giving them every in and out on the details and changes that we personally really thought would really make an impact and be very exciting for these engines. So we gave him a lot of changes to the Blue Comet, which I'll put up on screen here now. So you'll notice that it is a darker shade of blue, which is much more correct to the actual engine. You'll also see a nickel silver headlight, which has never been offered before, which is 100% correct. It's never been painted blue, as well as the marker lights. They're in the same nickel silver finish as well. You also see the gold trim above the coupler area, and you'll also see painted blue and gold pinstripe pilot wheels. We are very excited about that. That is something that has always been on this train, and to finally see that brought to the model is incredible. And we did similar things to the Bullet as well, which I'll have also some pictures here that were sent in by my friend Dan. You'll also see that some of those details transitioned over to that model as well. And it was really fun getting to help them from a historical standpoint bring out some of these details that never have been offered and should have been offered in past. So what we have next to me is something that I alongside helped them create. And this is really cool. This is depicting a very famous engine in later service life. So let's talk about that. All right, so here we are trackside with the iconic Baldwin Pacific. So real quick history lesson before we dive into what you see on the model here. The Baldwin Pacifics were brought into service on the C&J around the early 20s and fully in service across the whole system around 1924, 1925. As we go to the stock market crash in 1929, 3 locomotives were selected by the C&J to be repainted into the Blue Comet scheme that we all know and love. In this case, 831 that you see in front of you was one of those 3 engines, alongside cab number 832 and 833. And those engines pulled the service from 1929 all the way up until the beginning of World War II and 1941, 1942 time period. But sadly, all good things come to an end, and the Blue Comet service was officially terminated around that time period. It just became a very unprofitable train for the C&J. Ticket prices were very high, and the ridership just steadily decreased as time went on. So that brought us to where we are today with this model here. As you see, 831 was repainted into the standard C&J black. And you also notice that around this time period, once they started to do the Liberty logo on the tenders, a lot of these engines around 1945, 1946, from a lot of photos I've been able to gather up, the marker lights on the front of the engine are not present on this engine, which is pretty standard on a lot of the Pacifics at the time. You'll also notice a big change here where the feed water heater is. You'll see that the name badge that normally is where the Blue Comet or Bullet or Queen of the Valley sits is not present on the front here. And I just really think those 2 changes overall changed the whole front of this engine. It's just a really nice in-service look, just a nice run-of-the-mill hard workhorse looking locomotive, and I really think that's cool. And the rest of the engine is self-explanatory. MTH did an amazing job on this tooling. A lot of enhancements were done over the years to this tooling. Keep in mind, this is a tooling from the 1990s. You see here that I have the original Blue Comet from the 1990s, 1998 run specifically, and a lot of really cool details were added and changed over time. Walkway tread was added to the sides. You can see some details on the top of the boiler there. And speaking of the top of the boiler, you bring us right here to where you see this hole on the whistle. This is a whistle steam equipped engine. MTH has been doing this feature for a couple of years, I think going all the way back to around 2017, 2018. They started offering it on select engines. But now MTH, I believe at this point, every major premier steam locomotive release has been getting this feature, and I think it's absolutely awesome. You'll see here on screen that the steam output coming out of the whistle is absolutely first rate. It is probably the most powerful and best looking I've seen on a lot of these engines. It's just a really, really cool look. And it's a lot of fun to operate. I definitely love how it comes out of the physical whistle instead of a hole. It's just a really, really awesome look. MTH has done an amazing job on this, and I'm very happy with it. So real quick, let's take a look at the tender. So lastly, before we fire this thing up and take it for a spin, I definitely want to showcase to you guys the tender really quick. So I am very, very excited about this. This is one of the most exciting changes done to these engines. Not only is it painted in the black that I was really hoping MTH would bring back, it finally has the awesome Liberty logo on the side of the tender there. It just really looks sharp. It just is a very nice look to this engine. And you'll see here, probably the most unique change to this tender is this. So this is what is called a turbo steam generator. This is something that was used on the C&J very often. This was their way of using this to power up and heat up their passenger trains when they were especially going longer distances. So no, this does not operate, doesn't have smoke that comes out of it like a triplex or anything like that. But this is a really cool road specific detail that I think really goes a long way from MTH actually listening to what we as fans and consumers want. And they just did a really, really nice job on this. I just think that is such a sharp, very unique look to this overall tender and the overall post-war look. And you also see real quick here on the back, you see 831 in the white there. That was pretty standard too, so it's a nice contrast of colors going on here. But yeah, without further ado, let's put this out there on the rails and send it along the Jersey Shore. I'll see you guys at the end of the video.
Now departing for Jersey City on track 2, train number 3504, the Shore Special. Have a good one. All aboard! I see the conductor checked his watch again. Must be time to go. The conductor has given us the highball signal. Let's get down the line. number 3504, the Shore Special. This stop is Newark. Have a good one.
I think that's going to do it for this one. I just got to give a hats off to MTH. They really listened and did an incredible job on this. This is just a spectacular model that I always envisioned. And I'm super happy that other CNJ fans like myself out there really get an engine that was a long time coming. It's really fun to see that these engines have been now fully represented across the board through this run. And I'm really thankful that they were able to deliver things that I suggested, as well as my friends Alex and Carmine. I think we all collectively can say that this is probably the best representation of this steam locomotive that we could ever offer and work with the manufacturer to deliver to you guys. So let me know in the comments if you picked one of these up, and let me know how you're enjoying it. This is going to be a really hard model to take off the layout for the remainder of 2024. This is probably going to be a mainstay, and it's going to be really hard when I have to put it on the shelf to eventually try to run something else. But with that said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel and pushes me to want to keep pumping out great videos like this one. But that being said, I'm going to wrap things up here now. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.